So good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Bruhnke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. There's a lot going on in the world right now. The world of trade, the world of geopolitics and politics and wars and our focus is on the trade side of things. Today's conversation, it looks like we have a small, intimate group, and I apologize that I didn't do a very good job of getting the word out about this. So we'll probably be a short conversation today, but at least this is always an outlet, an opportunity for members of Global Chamber to jump in and listen and share. The intent is always to be able to hang around with really smart people who have different views of the world, and undoubtedly they can offer some sort of insight and hopefully some inspiration for new opportunities and or to overcome some challenges that are going on. So when I mention there's a lot going on, there's a lot of opportunity. Never seen so much, honestly. A little bit overwhelmed by how many follow-ups and new opportunities there are, and we'll plan to be working all this weekend on those. That's really exciting, really fantastic. The challenges, fortunately, at least for me and for generally us, we don't directly get involved with so many of the challenges that are being faced today around the tariffs in particular, as one of them. Um, but there are many people that are, and so we really feel for those challenges, including the strains and stresses that applies to the companies. So we did have, I'll just leave you with before I open up the floor. And so I'll just open it up and let you guys kind of observe or share what you're observing right now. What I'm observing is this, just generally opportunities and challenges. And then specifically, we had a meeting, in-person meeting nearby the port of Long Beach and the port of Los Angeles, the two, well, I think the number two and three largest ports in the U.S. We had it in Torrance, California, and the conversation was held at a hotel that houses mostly Japanese employees. They do about 18,000 employees a year that are coming in from Japan into the US. A lot of the Japanese investment is in Southern California. So the LA area and Torrance being part of that is that. When you drive around Torrance, it feels very Japanese. I live in Los Angeles as well, and behind me there is it's actually Venice Beach, kind of famous Venice Beach, which is about 10 minutes from here where I am right now. It takes me about 12 minutes by bike, so it works out really well. But that area in this area is also very Japanese. It's the first area, Sawtell, the first area in the United States where Japanese were allowed to own property. So there's quite a bit of Japanese investment. The conversation at our meeting was more around India, and Gunjan Bagla was the keynote speaker, and he talked about the 50% tariffs that have been applied to India. And um, it was off the record in terms of a lot of what he discussed. However, I would say he would feel okay with me generally categorizing the conversation as pragmatic and realistic, that this whole tariff game, and that's my words, not Gunjan's, is a bit of a bullying tactic that ends up being okay, or mostly okay. And so that's the general perception I got from his comments, that the relationship between India and the United States is longstanding. The US historically did mess it up during the Indira Gandhi years. The Henry Kissinger and Richard Nixon treated Indira Gandhi horrifically, and also politically made some bad decisions relative to India by siding with Pakistan. And India never forgot that. That was in the early 70s. So it's been 55 years. It's been a while, but India, doesn't forget, like any of us. When you're slighted and mistreated, you remember those things. And so India is making sure that they've got all their ducks in a row and they have a balanced approach, although they are very pro-US. And so from the perspective of what might happen next is that there's an expectation that those tariffs will be reduced to some better level, and things will proceed. That seems to be the general pattern, and that's their expectation. I'll open up the floor, and I don't want to put anyone on the spot by calling on them. However, Ildiko, we were talking before the recording, is an expert on import-export and has more of a Europe view of things. And so I'm wondering, Ildiko, do you mind giving some perspective on what you're seeing right now? And, not just on the tariffs, I guess I'm thinking more broadly on, trade. Are there things that we should be aware of that are coming up? What generally would you like to share if you'd like to share?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Thank you. It's actually what I'm seeing at the moment, UK and EU tightening again, they open to retalk the trade agreements, as anyway is due for review in 2026, and the UK suspended some or delayed some more checks for the phytosanitary goods, which is coming from the EU, is actually for the agreement what they put in place in April, I think, or May. So is they just tightening the trade again, and try to remove the barriers from the between the UK and EU traders, uh, and make easier for the export and the import, and reducing the cost. What else? I haven't heard anything about the UK and the US trade talk progress. So, but what I just read it today is actually the EU and the South American trade agreement has the frameworks, actually, not the full trade agreement, has been accepted by the European Commissions today. So there is still a lot of things going on, but they make an improvement, but not with the US. So this is what I can share with you today.
Okay. No, that sounds good. How is that impacting the kind of work that you're doing right now? Is it impacting you directly?
No, not yet. Actually, they didn't cancel any checks what is already in place. So they just delayed what they actually planned to introducing in the UK from September. And sorry, also is the EU deadline was 1st of September to introducing the import control systems, which means for by air, road, train. It's just need a report before enter into the EU. But most of the EU members got delayed and applied for delay this process, as they don't ready really. but it's worth to watch and make sure is everybody's ready. Is mostly for the transport companies and someone who's in logistics is the most important things what they need to watch.
I see. Very good. Thank you for sharing. This
Thank
is
you.
the Global Chamber news program to allow members just to jump in, share, listen, kind of get a sense of some of the things that are going around in the world, challenges and opportunities. And so I welcome you to unmute yourself and share. We've been talking a little bit with Ildiko Makran, who works in trade as customs broker and also just facilitates importing and exporting in the UK and across Europe and around the world. So thank you for that perspective. Who else has something that they would like to share? I know, Darren, you've got your eyes and ears and mind on currency. Ruby Golo's in the call. She's got her view on Africa and Ghana. Jamil has a similar role in the United States that Ildiko has. And so undoubtedly you've got some things that you're seeing that would be helpful. Well, Mohammed Omar is based in Turkey, but does a lot of business in Kirkuk. And so he's seeing, I'm sure, in fact, is seeing a lot of interesting trade going on right now. Thank you, Mohammed, for sharing more the other day. And Anne Marie, thank you for joining in as well. I know from your perspective in Dublin, a lot going on there as well. If there's anything either you'd like to share or hear about, let us know. And
Thanks.
Khalid, thank you for joining again today. I'm sorry, I think I cut someone off.
Mhm.
Was that you, Khalid?
Yep, you can hear me?
Can-
Yep.
I can. Yeah, thank you for your leadership. Khalid is our executive director in Orlando, so Central Florida, and his connections are amazing. In Florida and around the world, and is also has a real estate business. Thank you for your leadership in our weekly global real estate call. And you were also on our call yesterday when we talked about global culture. Thank you for your
Yeah.
contributions.
So
Anything
yeah,
you'd like to
I
share?
think you called my name, but by that time there was a problem with the volume. So I couldn't. But right now, what I'm seeing is that although we are seeing globally restrictions on trade, etc., here in my consultancy business, there seems to be a lot of global pickup in the global trade. For example, the last two or three deal that I'm working on consultancy basis, it is for some of the major U.S. franchises, interest in some of the major franchises like Hard Rock Cafe, for example. We had a meeting with a corporate yesterday. People interested in that to be located in some of the countries in the Middle East, etc. Also, a lot of interest in sports stadiums, especially U.S. sports, NFL, etc. in the Middle East. So a lot of business seems to be coming out of the Middle East, and that seems to be the major growth area.
Absolutely interesting. Those are growth areas for sure.
Yep.
The types of consultancy you do, what does that entail? You said the last three deals, so like what kinds of you
We
getting?
bringing, for example, it's a project I've been working on for the last 5, 6 years, and that is to bring Orlando is become a major sports hub. Recently, they had some of the World Cup matches. They're getting for the next World Cup will also. It's apart from that, they're trying to get a major NFL league here from move from Tampa. But the project that I've been working on is related to cricket. 10 years ago, 10 years ago, soccer wasn't 10 to 15 years. Soccer wasn't on the radar here in Central Florida, Orlando. until a husband and a wife, Kay Rollins, they were from the same city as me, from the UK, and they started this, and it's really taken off. And the main reason for that is you always need some good local participation. And the demographics here, where the communities from Brazil, for example, South America is a major hub for soccer. So we have a lot of matches between Brazilians team. In fact, I was in the organizing committee of the last Colombia versus Mexico champions game here last year, and it attracted fans from all. So my project is related to cricket. It's roughly $900 million project because it's not just question of putting a stadium or a field out there. It's got to be part of a whole setup, including a resort, including residential hotel rooms, all of that. So we're working with some major players from the Middle East, investors, and major players like Aecon on the stadium. So we got a stadium design, etc. And then gradually we'll be moving on to the next stage. So that's one. The other one is, there's a lot of interest in Hard Rock Cafe in some of the countries because they take successful franchises and they just want to promote them in their own country. So yesterday we had a meeting with their corporate office here in Fort Lauderdale. That's another one. Third is basically energy related projects. For example, just working on a project with some of the oil companies that are going into Libya, for example, with my connections over there. So there seems to be a lot of cross-border trade right now at that corporate level, at a high level, rather than dealing with individual projects. So there's a lot going out there, and I'm great to be part of it. And I think Global Chamber is an excellent source because in previous times, you had to go and see somebody, you had to physically travel there and then see the person and then come back, etc., and maybe make another trip. But now you can sit right here and connect with people. So that's what it is.
Have we connected you, or are you connected to Tony Singh of the Mangit Group on the cricket project? He's building a cricket stadium and getting financed like a championship cricket stadium. And so if that could be of interest,
Sure.
really
Where is he building it?
Phoenix, Arizona, of all places.
Yes, because the major cricketing nation, India, they have their IPL, Indian the Cricket League, and they give three franchises out: one to New York, one in Texas, and I believe one in California. And that is their $100 million+ projects. And because I've been at 33s in the local area, and I've been involved in a lot of projects, so that's where I fit in. But I love to connect with him. If you could just put his info in the chat box or email me or something.
Yeah, I'll email and get you guys connected because I need to call him. Got a trucking company. He's made his money. He's one of the wealthiest Indians, if not the wealthiest in the state of Arizona, and he's made it through mainly trucking and importing, and he's got some interesting businesses. And he's also a pickleball empire.
Yes.
He's kind of leveraged all of that into getting this cricket stadium, something that he really cares about. So sounds like you know more than enough to have
Well, funny thing is, Doug, I'm talking about a cricket stadium here. Now, cricket is very big in the Emirates. So I've had people come in here and they are converting some of the cricket fields over in the Emirates into the NFL fields because NFL has become big in the Emirates.
Very cool.
So you see how two-way it works both ways.
Sounds good. Thank you for sharing. Who else has anything to share? Sayali, you're unmuted, and by the way, if I could Sophie, could you get Global Chamber Los Angeles to be a co-host of the meeting, please? Yeah, that would be great. Sayali, did you have anything that you wanted to share? Or Terry, you're both unmuted. I can't help you with the mute side of things. But and Darren, how about you? I see you're unmuted as well.
Yeah, not too much, unfortunately, but one. I mean, obviously, we're in the foreign exchange game, and we do a lot of hedging. If anyone's familiar with hedging, but we're seeing more and more hedging opportunities, most definitely. I think it's just a continuation of how volatile the markets are, right? With all the tariffs, but it does seem to be a lot more activity and a lot more concern, shall we say, from corporates in terms of, what's my FX position going to be, in 12 months, 6 months. So that's one thing which is good for our business, to be honest. When Trump, bless him, started obviously, going a bit radical with his tariffs and stuff, it done wonders for our business. I'll be honest with you. And just to echo Khaled, we've joined the Global Chamber a few months ago, and it's been amazing. I've got to say, Doug, we've made a lot of relationships. We've connected with a lot of people, and whoever I was on a call this morning actually, and I was recommending the Global Chamber. It's very, 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 very good, Doug.
Fantastic. What do you have a sense of things that are going on in the currency markets right now that are either unusual or different, or things that we should be aware of?
No, not really. And under my role, I can't really sort of give any sort of advice to it. But what I can say, if anyone really wants to follow the currency markets, our blog, our blog is very good for this sort of thing. We publish daily, even on a Monday morning. There's a video that goes out, but every day there's a blog post on there about what it looks like that week for the major currencies. Blog post at the moment, maybe I could put in a chat actually, about what the September outlook is.
That would be great.
Let me dig it out and I'll put it in the chat.
I think we actually are going to post something for the September, some sort of a September post in LinkedIn in the next few days. So from you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. That's one thing we do. We do provide a lot of content that just keep people, anyone that's serious about, cross-border trade, import, export. Then I do recommend our blog. It is okay. It's free content. It's good. Yeah.
If you want to, yeah, for sure, put that in the chat area, and love to see it. For Global Chamber members, we recommend certainly the LinkedIn group. That we try to keep current with everything that's coming up on events, and also our members, things from our members who that have things that look like they're interesting for other members. We'll post there as well, and members are welcome to post there. It's unusual that a member does post there. I don't know how to encourage that, but we definitely encourage it. There's only like 4,000 to 5,000 people in there, but it's an interesting group of folks, and a lot of the key members of Global Chamber that have been around for a while are part of that. So I think it's a great community if you've got something global to share. Jermil, I see you're unmuted. I know you being in the middle of a move is distracting, but you still need to do your work. And how are everything impacting you, and what are some things you're seeing right now with import export?
So how I've been keeping up to date, honestly, I have a spreadsheet with probably like 9 or 10 tabs on it that I look at whenever I'm working with a new client. Some of my clients import the same thing. I pretty much know what the additional tariffs are. Like I have a client that imports from India, so they have additional tariffs that they have to pay now. So there's lots of different it's really hard to keep up, but usually just have my customs messages, the CSMS messages in a separate folder that I check continuously to see if anything else has changed. Make sure you subscribe to that if you don't want to stay up to date. Usually when customs puts it out, that's the final message. So I usually wait for that. I know sometimes clients contact me when they hear stuff in the news. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't hear anything yet. So it's hard to keep up with everything. There's a lot of different changes. Um, the best thing I would say for anyone to do is really just subscribe to those customs messages. That's the final, because they have to update their system whenever there's tariff changes. So that's the final thing. People are still importing from countries with high tariffs like India now. People are still importing from India. That's not going to stop. China, still people are still importing from China. I would say just start planning ahead. The best advice I can give you if you're importing from countries with high tariffs that constantly change, like India and China, I would suggest you get more of your product in advance while the tariffs are at whatever rate they are now, because just in case it goes up again. So you can hopefully avoid those additional tariffs on more products later in the future. So I think just planning ahead, evaluating your supply chain and how much products you need around certain time frames, you can probably save that way. That's the best suggestion I can give you right now, at least.
What was the messages you said to subscribe to? Who is that from? Is that from?
Messages. So it's the Cargo Systems Messaging Service. You could subscribe to that. It's free. So I think it's on cbp.gov. I usually subscribe to it and I check them. Like whenever I see updates, I'm like, okay, let's see what's the latest update. And I use that actually for my newsletter. A lot of the time I'll see what changes there are and I update my spreadsheets and everything based on that, those messages.
Okay, and do you mind putting the link in the chat area, because I didn't quite follow what that is. That's not something that I'm aware of. Sorry.
No problem.
Is it a government entity?
Yeah, it's customs messages that they send out.
Is it CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol Protection Group?
Yes, I'm gonna send you, put the link in the chat. Hold on, let me just look it up.
Super. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that they had, but that makes a lot of sense that they would have something on an ongoing basis. Very good. So if you're doing import export in the U.S., that sounds like something you need to have. So thank you for sharing.
Sure, no problem.
Where this is an import export foreign direct investment news opportunity for members of Global Chamber just to check in, share, listen, very informal. We don't have a formal speaker today. I think next time we're talking about getting some of our advisory board chairs to come in and talk about perspectives from different parts of the world. Over the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to begin a series of programs around those 8 areas of the world. And so stay tuned for that. Like to just open it up for anyone else to have a comment. We're talking about well, Dwight, you're in the call in terms of trade financing and activities there. You know, there's certainly deals that you're working on. Is there anything that we should be aware of for Export-Import Bank, or anything that's changing, that's unique, that you're seeing right now?
Well, certainly, not just in recent months, but for an extended period of time now, U.S. Exim Bank has been very out on the forefront of, working with certainly the U.S. export community to develop and grow businesses, as well as to even finance opportunities to build business here in the United States, which ultimately has an export goal at the end of the trail. So they've been very active in that, I must say, in that much more so than in prior years. And in that, so that as well as the SBA. So there's a lot of the what I was called the U.S. government support organizations and that on the bandwagon to help U.S. businesses certainly grow their export revenues. of course, that's where my own expertise comes in from the years of experience that I've had in both international trade credit and working with the likes of those organizations to help companies grow their revenues while mitigate the risks at the same time. And that's where my expertise comes in, and that I can weigh in on. So those are the type of clients I'm looking for, businesses that may not have people on their teams that have the depth and knowledge and the ability to go and out and market that piece of their business in that, and giving them the opportunity to sleep well at night when they're doing it. So that's one piece of it. That's the export trade finance part. From an investment side, I do have a client that I'm working with that's seeking to grow its footprint abroad. They're a U.S. company in the research, development, and clinical delivery of stem cell therapies and natural killer cell therapies. And that, unlike a startup venture, this is a company that's been in business for quite some time, and then therefore has a proven business plan and business model. And it's just a question of taking that model and applying it to the area that they want to extend their footprint to. So I'm also actively looking for parties that might be interested to invest in that as taking up for that particular investment opportunity in certain parts of the world, primarily right now looking at Southeast Asia. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm based in Phoenix and readily available to meet up and talk with anyone that would be willing to do so.
We've watched Dwight over the years get involved in export financing, trade financing, and not seen anybody better. Just he sorts through it really well. He's a Thunderbird graduate as well. And so you're also been mentoring some students over there. Have you continued some of that? Do you have a student or two that you're working with?
Well, I continue to mentor students at Thunderbird, and not in recent days, but it kind of has its peaks and troughs in that. But I expect that to take up a little bit more so as the new school year starts underway, and that so that's been going on for the last few years. And then, of course, as you know, Doug, last year I did that. Conducted that course for the Kuwait Investment Authority, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Kuwait, on credit analysis, and so that was a great opportunity, and that primarily came about through the Global Chamber. That in all fair credit due is to Global Chamber on bringing that to a reality, and then that's just connecting people with other people to do so.
Thunderbird is the #1 international trade school in the world, and I can say, as an update on that, one of the things, because of the rude treatment by the U.S. government to other countries these days, and beyond rude, there's just horrific stories that are happening to people who with visas, getting visas, and then that whole process. We documented that in a Globinar recently with Tamina Watson. She spoke about the immigration process, and I was shocked at some of the things that are going on. She gave a kind of end-to-end how to handle all of that as someone coming into the U.S. Because of all of that, there was a belief that the international students coming into the U.S., of which there are many, that would drop off precipitously. Thunderbird actually, even though they have most of the students are international students coming in from other places, has a record year, highest in a while anyway. Maybe not forever, but maybe forever. That's actually a good question, but way up. In fact, they put a new building in that Global Chamber moved into, and they're looking for space in the new building. So that's a good problem. Also, a couple of universities that are part of Global Chamber that have strong international programs overall, ASU being one, University of Utah, Utah Tech. All three of them have not a precipitous drop off. Those other three do have a drop off, but not horrifically. So that's good news. One of the student leaders at ASU is actually joining our advisory board for Phoenix, and she'll have more about that later. Also, Shadman Bashir runs the international programs at Utah Tech, and he recently reported at Global Chamber about how they in some of the things they're doing, they're having a record year. There are people being creative and helping these students be successful, and sort through a lot of the nonsense that's happening.
Well, I think one of the things that Doug wrote with respect to Thunderbird, and that is that you mentioned it earlier about it being one of the #1 international business schools in the world, and that's been a consistent record they've had for many, many years. So it's not a on again, off again sort of development, in that they've consistently ranked high, if not the highest, globally for this. So they have a long history. So that adds to their credit. Plus, they have a few years back, they inaugurated while it was traditionally a postgraduate degree program, master's degree, and that they'd have added a bachelor's degree program in conjunction with ASU, because Thunderbird is part of ASU, but adding that 4-year bachelor's degree with the opportunity to migrate into the master's degree program, and that is also added to one of its key points for students wanting to come over and get a longer term educational background, and that here in the US, and that so they have those two packages that they're offering, and that so I think that separates them from perhaps other institutions.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share? I see Rifat, you are not muted, so is there something that you wanted to share? And Ruby as well?
Yes, I do have. Hello, everyone. Great conversation. I just want to add that I have a client in the UK looking to expand into the US market. They are into door-to-door shipment of goods to Ghana. And so there are two options they are looking at, either to set up on their own in the US or ride on the back of an existing shipping company that can help them consolidate the goods and send them to Ghana. And I'm glad that Gmail is on the call. I don't know if you have some connections in the East Coast area. I'll be happy to discuss this with you, or anybody in the audience that can help. I'll be happy to speak to that person. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. You also reported at some meeting recently about how Ghana itself, the country, certainly the situation there is looking a lot better than it was a year or two ago. Economically, have things picked up with the new administration?
Certainly, a lot of things have changed. The good news is, I think this week, the inflation is now 11.5. Previously, we were in the 50% range. So that is very refreshing to see those changes. The exchange rate to the dollar has also improved, although in the last days it has gone up a bit, but I believe that it will come down again very soon. So economic-wise, things are looking great. A lot of people are interested. We had our president visit Japan and Singapore recently, and so he's looking to build new relationships and bring investors to look at Ghana. So a lot is happening. Anyone interested to know, I don't know, depending on the sectors or the industries you are interested in, I'll be happy to have a conversation around that. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other comments? Any observations that you see? And if not, that's okay as well. I was mentioning earlier about Japan and Japanese investment, there's a lot going on right now with Japanese investment. And I know also in Africa, I don't have the details about Africa, but I've heard just generally from the Kenya ambassador to the US, who was in a global chamber meeting the other day, about the long-standing relationship with Japan, but also how there continues to be strong investment. The investment by Japan in the U.S. is approaching record levels, up to $100 billion expected next year. It's on that track. And so certainly this is a great time to be integrated into Japan and be part of some of the projects that are going on around the world. I'll suggest that we, unless anyone has anything, just feel free to either raise your hand or unmute yourself, but I'll close the call otherwise by saying thank you. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for making this an opportunity for us to just share informally. I think next time what we'll do with the advisory boards around the world, and Ruby, actually, I may not have copied you on this now that I think about it, but there was an email that went out this morning to some of the key advisory board chairs around the world, and I don't remember putting your name on that, so I'm sorry. I'll forward that to you. But because I copied
That's okay.
Comey, and he replied and mentioned he's still traveling in Africa for, I think, for another couple weeks.
He is, yeah.
And then I asked him some questions and I haven't heard back, but we're getting the advisory board chairs together, and we'll use this meeting to get them more public, get their perspectives out. They're all just amazing. Comey, as you know, is the board chair for Ghana, and doesn't just have a view of what's going on in Ghana, but has a pan-Africa, and certainly 5 to 10 countries in Africa. It's very strong, in-depth knowledge. So we'll get them more involved in our first Friday call in October, and we also now do a first Thursday call on culture. And so we did our first one yesterday, and it was just more of a kind of a platform of describing how those of us that do business in different countries around the world, what are the tips and techniques to be able to do that more effectively. And so if that topic is of interest to you, looking for tips and techniques, that's first Thursday. That was yesterday, and then it'll be first Thursday of October. And then this program with our board chairs will be the first Friday of October as well. And then we've got a few other things going on between now and then. Usually 10 plus programs per week. We have a number of things coming up. I know one of the things that we're quite involved with is we have 18 members from India coming to the US for 5 days. And so we're hosting them in New York, in DC, Las Vegas, and in Silicon Valley. And so if you as a visitor, or you as your company or members that are looking to be connected in pretty much anywhere, we work hard to be able to do that. And this is an example where we were able to organize a trade mission, and it's pretty much all set. Actually, Silicon Valley just really wasn't set until today, and we're putting together a program at the Stanford University Innovation Center for them that looks really nifty. So thanks everybody for taking the time today. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and talk to you on the other side. Thanks, everyone.
You too, Doug. Take care.
You too, Doug. Take
Bye
care.
all.
All right,
Bye.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Ruby. Thanks, Ildiko and Jermil and Khalid. Thank you. Rifat, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. And Saleh as well. Sayale, sorry.
Thank you, Doc. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
You too as well. Are you in Southern California? Where are you?
Me? No, I'm not. I'm not in Dubai.
You're in Dubai. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm confusing you with someone else. It's sort of another Rifat that's in Southern California. It's like I was going to mention to Sayali. I've got two other Sayalis I'm working with right now, so I have to get them straight. So hopefully you don't
You
have
can mention.
Doug's.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. You can mention like Rifat from Dubai or Bangladesh. Yeah, Dhaka, whatever it is. Yeah, then it will be more easy.
Got it. Lots going on in Dubai, lots going on in Saudi Arabia for sure.
Yes, so much. You should bring more people, like to physically have a meeting or some seminar in Dubai as well. Like so many things will happen. Like
For sure.
projects are going in AI, ML. So many things are happening in Middle East right now. Even not in Dubai, but also in Oman. So through GC, I'm connecting with very good clients also and partners to do big projects in Oman, in Saudi. So global GC is helping me out very well, like in my interest, work of interest.
That's great. Does that mean you know Adele and Eamon? Are you working with them?
Yeah. Yes, I'm from GC UAE, correct? Yeah.
Got it. Yep, exactly. So Eamon, we actually have Eamon speaking 3 times coming up in the US. He's going to be in Vancouver at a Global Chamber event, and then we're putting together 2 programs, one in Boston and one in New York, with Eamon as a speaker. So we're at least getting the word out. I agree with you, though. We need to do more on the ground there for sure. And I was going to meet Adele on Wednesday, but the meeting didn't happen, so we're rescheduling. So I'll speak with him about that.
Yes, of course. Okay, I will have I'm trying to have a meeting with his brother for our different projects. It's growing. So many potential projects will happen. So US good investors can focus on this market as well.
Agreed. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I couldn't know because I was having another meeting. I just got the message like, oh shit, I missed like 15, 20 minutes later. So then I joined. Sorry for that. Yeah, I couldn't follow the message because today we are having holiday, our Islamic holiday in UAE and also in Southeast Asian. Like, it's our Islamic holiday. So our Prophet's birthday. So that's why we are like off to the work right now. A limited access we are having. So sorry for that. Yep. Inshallah, next events will I will try to be more connected. Yep, and give my views.
That sounds great. Thanks, Rifat.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Look, I'm looking forward to meet you physically as well in future. Maybe in Dubai or even in Canada or US in future. Let's see.
Yeah, I do plan to be in Dubai next year, so let's align calendars.
Sure, of course. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you, Doc. Yep. You take care.
Thanks, Sophie. I think that does it.